Hello and welcome to the cookbook. I am your host, Dappz, with the illustrious Parcel, who's gonna give us all of the information that you need on how to make money this week, next week, the entire football season. Week 1 is in the books. We had some wild happenings, especially last night. That Bills-Ravens game, I'm sure everybody caught it. Derrick Henry with the fumble. The Bills getting a tipped touchdown in the end zone. Absolutely nuts. Was it a bloodbath or a golden shower for your slips this first week? I know I did pretty well. I think Parsi, maybe you did okay. We'll see. Parsi, how are you looking after week 1 on your slips?
I am dead even. I bought into about a $1,400 bankroll I had a series of 30, 50, $100 bets, depending on how much I like them. And I was down going into the final game. I had a $25 bet on Dalton Kincaid first touchdown scorer, which hit for 525. I also had an anytime for him. And I ended the week up $16, or I'm up $16 going into tonight. How'd you do?
I did pretty good. I have a 36% hit rate this week, which might
Okay,
sound
that's good
not
for you.
good, but we went real heavy on Sunday Night Football. We made it all back, all right? We're going to walk through everything. Let's go back in time though. Let's go back to Thursday Night Football. Your Cowboys versus the Eagles. May I say over under 46.5. We all know I took the over. All right? We all know I took the over. We all know that we had 41 points in the first half. I looked at Dylan and I said, well, this hit. Then there's some insane lightning storm that Vegas whips up out of nowhere and completely ruins the entire rhythm of the game. I think you would agree, Parse, that the game, every single drive, there was a score, and then all of a sudden it stopped. What did you think of that game flow, and do you think that everything got thrown off because of that lightning storm?
Yeah, that was brutal. I'm sure at the time the game was paused, the odds of hitting the over under on that were probably minus 2,000, minus 3,000. It was an hour 15-minute delay. It seemed like when they came back, I don't know if players were just trying to avoid injury, to their credit, it's probably tough stepping out, getting all hyped up for a game, playing, being on the field, taking hits. You go into the locker room for an extended period of time, lactic acid builds up. But that was brutal. My heart goes out to you on that one.
Yeah, the lactic acid buildup really hurt my slips on Thursday night. 10 units gone on the over. Luckily, I put 750 anytime touchdown Jalen Hurts, which cashed in the first quarter, which, it's always great to hit an anytime touchdown in the first quarter. Would you agree, Parsi?
Absolutely.
Did you have any plays on the opening, or you just couldn't take it because you're a Cowboys fan?
No, I did. I think I was about even on that game. I had Hurts, I had Saquon. I was hoping for a CD touchdown that never came. That would have paid me. Um, but yeah, I dipped my toe in that game. I Nothing too crazy.
You know, what I will say is I'm not a Cowboys hater like the rest of America, but I'm a fan of Dak. I'm a fan of CD. And the Cowboys, for what it's worth, they looked pretty good in the sense that if CD catches 3 of those 4 balls,
Right.
the game is wildly different. The momentum is wildly different. You could argue that the Cowboys could have won the game or should have won the game. Um, and CD, it's just that's not what you expect from him. And rewatching those couple catches, by the way, CD Lamb, like Dak hit him in stride. It wasn't like, oh, it was right out of the zone or it was near him and he should have caught it. The only play where CD had to dive, that last catch at the end of the game, and still you thought CD would have caught a ball like that. That was the only one you could say was slightly overthrown. Every other one hit CD right in the chest, and I think they showed the over/under of his receiving yards were 119 and a half, and I think it finished at 110. So any 3 of those go for a catch, A lot was against the bread that last or that night against CD. I mean, come on. These people are against us making bread. Parsi. Moving right along to Friday night, the Brazil game. Chiefs versus Charger. Chargers sneak one out in a real surprise.
Mm.
I put a little flyer out there, $500 anytime Keenan Allen touchdown, parlayed with Kareem Hunt. Listen, Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert already have chemistry, so you have to expect that this year, and by the way, the amount of targets that Keenan Allen had, Parsi, I'm thinking Keenan Allen's going to get a lot of work. We'll just see if he stays healthy or not. But he could be a relevant wide receiver in fantasy this year and a guy that you want to regularly take as an anytime touchdown scorer. This paid out, I think, close to $5K. It was just too appetizing for me. Kareem Hunt, by the way, listen, you were kind of giving it to me in the group chat saying that Kareem Hunt was definitely not going to hit. But the Chiefs always score with weird players, right?
Mm.
They always have a weird touchdown pass to a Rashee Rice or Kelsey, and somehow he gets tripped up at the 3-yard line and they hand it off to their third running back, right? So that's what I was hoping for this game. It didn't happen. Mahomes looked pretty good. Couldn't get the job done. Did you have anything going on in that game?
Yeah, I had Keenan Allen on an anytime, nothing big, but that was nice when that hit. I had a Keenan Allen, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelsey. So I ended up getting paid on 2 of the legs on that. I like Omarion Hampton. I took a chance with him. I worked him in a lot of the parlays, and that touchdown never came to fruition. There were a couple. I had a couple multi-leg parlays that I was missing on 1 or 2 legs. The thing that saved me, I in-gamed a Patrick Mahomes anytime touchdown for $50, and I think it hit in the third quarter. It was at least I put the bet in the second half, so that paid like $350 and covered a lot of my bets. So it was nice to see. You usually get paid if a lot of the stars are scoring. So Mahomes looked good. I agree. Wish Omarion Hampton got in there, but I'm close. We're really close to some big hits.
Well, I went right back to the over again, as I always do. All right, Thursday night, Friday night, won my $1,000, my 10 units back that I lost on Thursday night to the act of God. I then won them Friday night. Then we moved right into college football Saturday. Parsi, I'm not a big college football guy. I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to have to change that for this show and all the shows that we're developing. But listen, I've always been around football. I know all the teams. I don't know, who the quarterback is on every single college football team. There's 300 of them. I heard that they signed this kid. He was the best prospect. Dave Portnoy somehow got this kid from Michigan. I see in the middle of the game, Oklahoma scored a touchdown. It was the second or the third quarter. They go up 2 touchdowns, but I didn't really like the momentum on either side of the ball. I thought, well, Michigan might be able to come back. It was plus 800. 10 units, dropped it to win 8K. I'm like, give it to me. Come on, let's see a comeback right now. Let me root for something. And I think that when we as degens see odds like this, they kind of just, there's like a flicker in our eye, or in like the back of our brain, something is just popping. And I'm saying plus 800, I could win 8K, and I only got to put out $1,000. I did it. Michigan ends up scoring, gets the game to 1 touchdown. I think I'm going to win, and then they just completely get dominated. You should watch out for this kid. I don't know his name, the quarterback on Oklahoma, though. He's a serious player. I think he's going to be a stud in the NFL in a couple years. I would definitely look him up. Did you have any plays on Saturday? John Mateer, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. But did you have any plays on college football Saturday, or did you touch anything?
I did not. I don't have a good gauge on college. It's probably something we should start to look at more. But no, I didn't do anything college-wise Saturday.
All right, well then let's get into the worst picks of the week. And by the way, at this point, going into Saturday, I'm not up. I'm down. I'm down maybe 10 units, 15 units, somewhere around there. Not feeling great. Parsi. Okay? And then what do? I go, okay, NFL Week 1, I need a little action. This is 9 a.m., right? Before 10 a.m. I need a little action. I need to watch something besides my 6 fantasy teams today. I'm thinking Vegas has to get a couple of these wrong today. There's got to be some upsets. Let me take 3 money lines of 3 dogs. Giants versus the Commanders. Giants versus the Commanders. Who else did I take? The Dolphins versus the Colts. And the Panthers against the Jags. Absolutely horrible decision making on my part.
Horrible.
A lot of these were 500 to win 1,000, so I'm like, hey, you never know, right? I did know. The worst pick of the week was 100% the Dolphins. They got absolutely demolished. This was a 1.5 point spread. But this is what I mean by Vegas. Vegas was wildly off on this spread, right? 1.5. We're talking a 33-8 point romping. Danny Dimes comes out of nowhere. I know he stole 2 touchdowns from Jonathan Taylor in all your fantasy leagues. I mean, is Danny Dimes actually going to win some people some money this year?
What do you think?
What do I think? No, I don't think he's going to win anybody money this year, but everybody's all over Danny Dimes today. Monday morning, listen, Daniel Jones stunk on the Giants. The Giants were horrible. When he got drafted, I thought, what are the Giants doing? Who is Daniel Jones? I remember the shock of everybody when they drafted him. Who were the Giants fans at the draft were like, what is going on? Because nobody thought they were taking Daniel Jones. Then they paid him an ungodly amount of money, $150 million. Then they let Saquon go. I mean, this has got to be like the worst management of roster in New York history besides the Jets, Mets, and Knicks. I mean, Danny Dimes goes to Indianapolis. He went to the Vikings last year first, but could this be the resurrection of Danny Dimes' career? Is he in a good position? Do you feel like the Colts could maybe make some noise and potentially win you some money this year?
I think so. It did break my heart seeing him take 2 goal line carries, and it looks like they're starting to do a tush push type thing in Indianapolis. I'm hoping that other teams will put the kibosh on that early. I think if he gets stuffed a couple times, maybe they'll go back to the bell cow, Jonathan Taylor. But they are a good running team. Michael Pittman looked great. Danny Dimes, and Pittman seem to have a good early connection. They've said that Pierce and Dimes have good chemistry as well. He can run the ball. He's sneakily athletic. And again, they have a pretty good O-line. They're able to run the ball anyway with JT. Their defense looked pretty good. They have solid receivers. Josh Downs has got a lot of hype. So do I think they're going to go deep in the playoffs? No, but I think that they can have a winning record, make the playoffs. I think he can. How can he win me money? Maybe betting his rushing yards. Maybe he'll get decent value on anytime touchdowns at the onset of the year. I'm hoping that he gets stuffed. But yeah, I think there's some money to be made there. I think you can probably go over on the Pittman lines and get paid.
Danny Dimes to throw an interception. That's what I'll be betting on all year. You like that? All right, let's get into Parcey's impossible plays. I'm ready for this one. I'm really ready for this one.
Oh.
Parcey, break this down for us. You put in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 game parlay like an absolute lunatic on Sunday.
Yep, I did.
It looks like the Rams covered, the Jags covered. What happened here? Did you hit all of these except for one?
It is the same song and dance. Loved all 6 of these. I guess I will say I am better at player props than I am on actual lines, but I looked. The Texans their offensive lines in disarray. The Rams are a solid enough team. That was an easy-ish pick. Jacksonville, I think, is great. I think you're crazy to go with Carolina. I mean, they still have so much to figure out. Jacksonville has Travis Hunter now. Another year for Trevor Lawrence. I thought that was going to be an easy win. Marvin Harrison Jr. had a good game last year against the Saints. So that was 5 for 6. It was 50 to win $1,400. Only thing that missed was the Denver over. And in my mind, I thought, okay, Denver's at home. They're an incredible defense. They're playing a rookie Cam Ward on the Titans, who's not strong anyway. I thought Denver was going to jump to a big lead, be able to run it all over the Titans, and probably get a defensive touchdown or 2 along the way. something along those lines. And it was just a low scoring game. It was tough because the first 5 hit, and as the Rams finish and hit, it was starting to look grim for the Broncos. But yeah, 5 for 6, 1,500
Let's call it what it is. 5 for 6 really stings. 5 for 6 really, really stings. And again, I have to agree with you, though. Broncos, I thought they were going to dominate. I thought Cam Ward would have had to throw the whole game, and it really didn't pan out like that. Bo Nix did not look like I thought he was going to come out. I thought Bo Nix was awesome last year. I thought he had a really nice mix of passing the ball and being able to use his legs and get a couple yards on the ground, and he just didn't look sharp. Listen, this is his second year. Maybe he's got to work a couple things out, or he's just not used to, the motions of NFL Week 1 the way he's supposed to be. Sean Payton, I think, is the best coach to get him in line. But he better get in line soon because he's got to play the Chargers. He's got to play the Mahomes. He's got to play. Listen, Geno Smith on the Raiders, they just beat the Patriots. Like, they're not a team that is just a walkover team. The Raiders are going to win some games this year. So Broncos got to get it together. Did not look good against the team. I think Cam Ward had like 1 or 2 fantasy points. So shows you the stat line he put up. Not very good. Not a very good start for him. And then let's get into Parcey's second parlay. 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5-gamer. Anytime touchdown, Bucky, Bijan, Connor, Dobbins, and CMC. What happened in this one, Parcey?
Well, the first 4 hit. Bucky caught the touchdown pass. Bijan scored right away. Connor decently early. Dobbins broke out for a touchdown late. And then Christian McCaffrey. Yes, I believe in him. And I did not think he looked as explosive as he has in the past. But this is a guy who, if he plays, he scores a touchdown every single week. Last year against Seattle, he scored touchdowns. I'm like, this is, I felt very strongly about the 5 picks. And sure enough, 4 out of the 5, Christian McCaffrey never found pay dirt. There were a couple opportunities. They threw it to that backup tight end for Kittle. There was another time where Purdy threw a pick on like the 30-yard line. They were driving pretty well. So this one just never paid out as well, but we're close. We have 16 more weeks of regular season, so eventually some of these are going to line up. But yep, another 4 for 5.
And that's horrible that you lost on CMC too. I mean, losing on a Bucky or Connor or Dobbins, like you kind of can deal with, but losing on CMC, who also had, I think, close to 18 fantasy points without a touchdown, right? So CMC might be back this year. If he's healthy, he's going to look like a top 1, 2, 3 player in the league. We're going to see what happens. And not for nothing, just so everyone is aware, Parcel got 9 picks out of 11 right and has $0 to show for it. That's insane. This guy has like a 90% hit rate. No money. I'm at a 36% rate, and I'm just rolling in dough. That's how it goes sometimes. All right, let's look or go back to my Sunday slate. I told you about the Moneyline Panthers I took. Huge loser. Moneyline Giants, huge loser. Moneyline Dolphins, huge loser. So now I'm down like 15 units going into the 4 o'clock games. And we've all been through this where like you look up and you're like, oh my God, the 4 o'clock game started. Like I don't have any action in. That was me yesterday. There was so many fantasy implications going on. By the way, having 6 teams, like you can't even, there's no sense in even looking at any of them until the Sunday night football game. You know what I mean? Like I'm tracking this and that and trying to do like, oh, this is how I win this. It doesn't matter. Like don't even look at it. Set your lineup. Look at it at night. The Panthers got absolutely smoked. You nailed that one, Parcey. I don't think the Jaguars are actually that good. I think the Panthers are just worse. I thought I saw a flicker of light or hope from Bryce Young at the end of last season. I think you would agree that he started to like play like a decent human being and not a shell of himself when he was getting benched for Andy Dalton. And that did not show up yesterday at all. So what do? I put the house on 2 bets. Sunday night football. We go right back to the over. We never give up. And listen, for everybody watching the cookbook, this is something where Parcey, I hope you agree with this. This line opened at, or at least the first time I saw it, it was at 47.5. I looked at it again pregame around 4 o'clock. Pacific time. It's at 50.5. The spread has moved 3 full points. That's insane. You see a movement like that, I'm going, oh, this over is hitting by a mile, right? This is going way over. Brent, I don't know if you're aware, the alt over of 80 points would have covered. 81 combined points, and that probably would have paid out plus 3, 4, 5, 600. I don't even know if they offer that. So nailed that one for 20 units. The next bet I put in was courtesy of Matthew Berry, who, by the way, I hate. I do not like Matthew Berry, but I saw this graphic pop up on screen. Dylan put me onto it. It was over Josh Allen, 25 rushing yards, parlayed with Lamar Jackson over 25 rushing yards, plus 150. Now Matthew Berry is a liar. It was not plus 150. It was not plus 150. All right, it was like minus 150. But I love the bet. I was all over the bet. Also, this was an alt over, so it wasn't like your book is offering this at minus 110 or whatever. This was like minus 200, minus 300, right? You had to buy this down to 25. But Lamar Jackson running for 25 yards and Josh Allen, it just seemed like too much of a layup. Parlaying them together, 50 units to win 36. Lamar ran for 40 yards in the second quarter. That cashed. But Josh Allen made me sweat, baby. Josh Allen had 3 rushing yards going into the second half, and I think he took it even into the fourth quarter. And I'm sweating. I'm telling everybody who's watching next to me, because they're like, oh, you're only 8 yards away. You're fine. I'm like, no, I'm not 8 yards away. I need an extra padding of 10 yards because you know how many people got burnt over the last couple of years. And what happened at the end of the game? Josh Allen took 3 knees, 2 for negative 2 yards, 1 for negative 1. So he got 5 yards taken off his total. Luckily, he had, I think, 35 or 36 yards. I was good. Cashed 3,600 on that one. Another 2K. Had a nice little 6K night on Sunday Night Football. Parsi, not to bring up fantasy, but I don't think you've ever done this because you're not crazy enough to be in 6 leagues. I went 6-0 in fantasy. I did not lose one matchup. That's actually disgusting. And you're going to hate this. The one that I should have lost, I'm up 30 points. This guy has Derrick Henry and Mark Andrews. With the last touchdown that Derrick Henry scored, he went up 119. I had 116.8. So I'm up 2.8. He fumbles. I won that matchup by 0.52.
Wow.
Just safe to say, Chris Zink is not a happy man this morning. So, did you have any action last night, Parsi, on any of the Bills-Ravens slips?
I did. I had this was a game, maybe you just had to go with the studs because there's times where I'd see this matchup and have gone, running back touchdown, quarterback touchdown. So Lamar, Allen, Cook, and Henry. And I tried to get cute, and I've been doing that with a lot of these parlays. And even tonight, what I'm going to give you guys is I'm not going quite with the studs, but I feel like there is value you can find between the lines. But yeah, I was down about 600 going into the Sunday night game. Dalton Kincaid hit. I had 50 on his anytime that paid 150. So, 200 there. And then that first touchdown score of the game, 25 to win 525. So that was a really nice, quick, hey, back to even. I did throw in an in-game Ty Chandler touchdown with like $35 of bonus bets that I had. It was plus 1,100. Allen threw a ball that hit him in the hands in the end zone. He just couldn't pull it in. 8 out of 10 times he probably will. But so I ended up being up a little bit. I had probably 4 or 5 other parlays, but they included Mark Andrews getting 3 catches, and they didn't need him to catch the ball, so he didn't do it. So it was kind of
So what you're saying is you had a rough weekend.
I broke even somehow, but I was so close. I mean, there were 6 or 7 different things that could have happened where they're 50-50 bets. And if any of those hit, $500, $1,500, $1,200, $900. So we're close. I think we're going to get something tonight, though.
And by the way, the alt over of 80.5 in that game would have been plus $1,500. A psychopath probably bet that. An absolute psychopath. Now, let's move right along to Monday Night Football. Picks for tonight, why everybody's watching. What is everybody betting on tonight? That's the question. You have the Bears versus the Vikings. Where are we? Are we in Minnesota or are we in Chicago tonight? I think we're in Dome. Does that sound correct?
Chicago.
Or we're in Chicago?
We're in Chicago tonight.
Chicago tonight. Vikings are the favorite in Chicago, -1.5. The over/under 43.5. I'm gonna say my first bet to everybody that just really stands out, and I know you're gonna say I'm biased. Over 43.5. This will be my 4th consecutive over bet. I have not bet the under yet this year, but I will give you good reason, Parsi. I think we saw what happened yesterday. Packers-Lions. The Lions lose their offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, to who? The Chicago Bears. New head coach is Ben Johnson. And the Lions looked really bad yesterday, by the way. They also lost their defensive coordinator, who's now the head coach of the New York Jets.
They looked really bad.
So they did not look good. They didn't look like the team that knows how to move the ball. But now, for fantasy implications and for high-scoring games, I'm thinking Ben Johnson has revitalized this offense. I think you're going to be very surprised at the way you see Caleb Williams moving the ball this year. I think DeAndre Swift, I think Odunze, I think DJ Moore, all these position players. They have 2 tight ends. They drafted the kid Loveland.
Yep.
Loveland plus Cole Kmet. By the way, Cole Kmet he's a big body, especially around the end zone. So he's a guy I love as an anytime touchdown flyer where you're going to get a nice odds Kmet by the end zone. Look out for that. That's probably somewhere around plus 1,100. Over 43.5. The reason I love it, I think the Bears are going to be very similar to the Lions in terms of the way they move the ball this year. I think the Bears are going to score 30 points or close to. I'm just looking for 14 points from J.J. McCarthy. And I think the Vikings can score more than that. So I'm looking for a very, very high-powered game. I know the Vikings have a good defense. I have no idea about the Bears. I don't know if they can hang. I don't know about the Bears' offensive line. I think that's
the Bears do have a good defense.
Yeah, so we're going to see what happens. This is the divisional matchup. And what I tend to see, by the way, every single year in divisional matchups, one game is played really tight and it grinds and it's a boring 10-7, 17-10 game. And the other one just goes off the rails and they both just score. So what do you think, Parsi, about the over-under? And then what do you like tonight?
Okay, so I that list of things that were the list of potential plays that you had up there. Yep. I don't know enough about McCarthy's rushing. I do think Hawkinson's going to get a lot of looks. So I kind of like the anytime touchdown there. There's probably value. Addison's suspended for the first 3 games. So McCarthy's going to be looking to go to Jefferson and Hawkinson. I do kind of agree with you on the over-under. A lot of my picks, guys, I will look at historical games. So I don't think history repeats itself, but it tends to rhyme. Last year, we had Vikings-Bears. It was 30-12 in the one game, and that was the blowout game you were talking about, Dappz. And then the other one, it was 30-27 Vikings. This was in Chicago. It was kept close. So if I had to pick one of those, either of those, I would say probably Hawkinson anytime, or going with the over, or maybe even looking at the Vikings team total. But the action that I am going to have tonight, I have 2 parlays for you guys. One is going to be pay plus 245, so about 2.5 to 1. And the other, I'm going to add a couple more legs and make it it's going to pay 7 or 8 to 1. But this is what I have. If you want some money, take out your pen and paper. DJ Moore, over 5 catches. Last year, he had 8 catches for 46 yards and 7 catches for 106 yards. I think he's going to get looked at a lot. I think Odunze is going to get looked at a lot. So DJ Moore, 5 catches. Hawkinson, 4 catches. Aaron Jones, 2 catches. Odunze 3 catches. So it's a 4-legger. Last year, DJ Moore had 8 and 7 in the 2 contests. Hawkinson had 7 and 5. So we're going for 4 catches tonight. Jones had 2 and 3. We're going for 2 tonight. Aaron Jones, pass catching running back. And then Odunze last year had 5 catches in one game and 2 catches in the other. And they've been raving about him. They've been working, Caleb Williams and him have been working on their chemistry. So I think this is a lock plus 245. And if you want to spice it up a little, sprinkle in a little more, something to get the juices flowing, I'm going to add Aaron Jones rushing yards for 40 yards. Last year, he had 108 against the Bears and 86. And then Caleb Williams over 20 rushing yards. He had 33 in one game last year against the Vikings, and he had 3 in one game last year. But you only need 1 or 2 plays. I think he's going to have to scramble a bit tonight. So those are my picks. What do you think?
Yeah, I love it. I think J.J. McCarthy, 15.5 rushing yards is kind of speaking to me too. I think that just seems like it's going to naturally happen by running out of the pocket, but also those negative rushing yards at the end of the game got to scare you. So I'm thinking I really like anytime touchdown Aaron Jones. I really like anytime touchdown Hawkinson, and I really like Odunze. I think those parlayed together are kind of an interesting combo if you want to take out Odunze and really spice up your odds a little bit. I would substitute him for Cole Kmet because, again, big body by the end zone. I don't see Kmet getting a lot of looks overall throughout the game, but I think by the red zone, you're going to see Caleb Williams looking for him. I'm seeing a high-scoring game. I love your overs on all of these receptions.
They're alternate lines, yeah.
They
so
are alt lines.
Like
okay,
so all
just
of these
so everyone who's watching, these are going to be alt lines tonight. And listen to Parcel plus 245. Odunze, I mean, listen, Aaron Jones, 2 catches, that has to happen.
2 catches.
Right? What did you say? Odunze is 3 catches, 4 catches?
3 for Odunze, 4 for Hawkinson, 5 for DJ Moore.
Yeah, I would say the one that scares me the most is Hawkinson, and I still like it. Right, so Hawkinson.
They don't have Addison. I mean, here's the other thing too. We haven't even brought up Justin Jefferson. Are we just grossly neglecting the best player on the field?
I don't think we're grossly neglecting him. I think it's just like they always set the superstars high with good reason. And listen, we don't know enough about J.J. McCarthy yet in an NFL uniform. We don't know about his injury. We just don't know, right? So you're just taking so much of a risk betting on something like that tonight in this game. But again, it's like you said last night. Look what the Ravens and the Bills did. It was absolutely insane. So DraftKings offers as soon as you hit the page, when you open the app, it's like $10 to win $2,500, and they just put a 4-game parlay together, anytime touchdown. And it was James Cook, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Whatever it was like you looked at it, you're like, this is the easiest bet ever. Why wouldn't you bet this?
So mad I didn't take that.
So, listen, tonight is not going to resemble last night in terms of the amount of touchdowns and the amount of points scored. This is not Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson, but I think everybody is going to be surprised with Caleb Williams and how he performs. Listen, Caleb Williams, for anybody who doesn't know, who didn't watch the Bears last year, and I'm heavily invested in Justin Fields in the card market. So I've been following the Bears for a while now. Matt Eberflus, head coach last year of the Bears, absolutely stinks. Horrible coach. I don't know how he has a job. Should be working at, McDonald's in the fry department. This guy stinks. Now, by the way, he's your defensive coordinator on the Cowboys, so good luck with that. But what I will say is Caleb Williams with Ben Johnson coming over from the Lions. Caleb Williams is going to look like a different quarterback. And at minimum, they're going to be high-scoring games that they lose at the end, or Caleb is scoring 2, 3. Don't be surprised if he averages 3 touchdowns a game this year. Caleb Williams, I would definitely be looking at his yard total and his over-under on touchdowns tonight because Caleb Williams is going to look like a superstar this year, I promise you. You got anything to say about that, Parcel? Do you agree? You don't agree?
I agree. I think they're going to be good. I believe in Ben Johnson. I concur. I was trying to think of one other potential play, but there's a There's a backup running back on the Bears, Monangai. I think it's Kyle Monangai. He went to Rutgers, runs really hard.
This is just a spite pick because I have DeAndre Swift in our fantasy league. I don't want to hear this one. All right.
No, I'm telling you, he's gonna vulture a touchdown from Swift tonight. Swift is not really a goal line back guy. They used to have Roshan Johnson for that. This Monangai kid, if he has a hole, he's getting into the end zone. So he's at plus 300. I mean, for a no-name rookie backup running back, that's pretty good odds to get in the end zone. So
he should be getting plus 700 on that.
Listen, this is what I would recommend to our bettors who want to win money. Take my 6 picks, take the one that you like the least, and take it out, because that'll be the one that I'm going to miss, and then you'll hit the other 5 for 5.
Parcel, 90% hit rate. Just bet all of his bets. Just don't parlay them together, and you'll win a lot of money, all right? Cookbook every Monday and Thursday. Thank you so much for watching our first episode. Remember, The General Managers is our fantasy show. That will drop every single Tuesday. And don't forget to watch Dappz live on TikTok daily at 12 p.m. We are going to be talking sports. I am Dappz. This is Parcel. It's been a great day. We will see you on Thursday.